Hey buddy, in this video we're going to continue doing stuff with negations, this time working on some stuff in translations, doing number 1 out of the negations chapter in the book. Let's get into it.
And now I'm going to get into number 1, A through F. Let's see what we got. So the first one here, 1A, this is a quotation that most of you probably don't remember from the first President Bush, which is, "Read my lips, no new taxes." T would be there are new taxes. Are there new taxes? No. So it's squiggle T. B. Notre Dame is not unbeatable, where B would stand for Notre Dame is beatable. So they're not unbeatable. So you might think, oh, that's a double negation. If they're not unbeatable, then they're beatable. Well, that's true. When we are doing translations, we're going to do exactly what's there, period. So I would italicize these elements for you, but it says that they're not unbeatable, which means squiggle, squiggle, B. They're not unbeatable. C. If the prosecution's case doesn't fit, you must acquit. Johnny Cochran, O.J. Simpson trial, early 90s. Most of you probably don't remember this. It's an if-then statement, so that means there's an arrow. It says, if the prosecution's case doesn't, so if it doesn't fit, if it doesn't fit, then you must acquit. D. Bill Clinton, running for office, says this: I experimented with marijuana a time or two, but I didn't like it, comma, I didn't inhale, and I never tried it again. Did he ever try it again? No. And he not ever tried it again. So that's it. Now, is this dyadic? No. So we have a couple of options here. Okay, since it's all dots connecting, it doesn't matter where we put the parentheses so long as it's dyadic. So one way we could do it, we could say this and this and this and this. That's fine. What's also fine is saying, you know, this and this, this, so this tiny left side, this big right side. That's fine, but we don't have to do that either. We can do this and this, this and this. That's fine too. And we have a couple of other options, so long as it's dyadic. So I think the most basic one is if it's all ands, and make sure you get those squiggles for the elements in the parentheses. I think this is the most basic one to do. That's fine. E. Governor of New Jersey, Christine Todd Whitman, at the same time said, unlike the president, I inhaled. And then I threw up. Threw up is irrelevant. So what do we got? Unlike the president. So here's what we got. P stands for the president inhaled. W stands for I inhaled. So we can say there, did the president inhale? According to the president, Bill Clinton, no, the president did not inhale. But unlike the president, so the president did not inhale. What did I do? I, Christine Todd Whitman, which was represented by W, what did I do? I inhaled. How do I say I inhaled? W. There's what we got. President didn't inhale, but I did. Okay, which is the same thing as saying, as it says here, unlike the president, I inhaled. Cool. F. If you're not confused, then you're not well informed. So that's an arrow. And here's what we've got. If you're not confused, whatever follows if goes on the left side of the arrow. If you're not confused, then you're not well informed. So this is number 1, A through F. Let's look at the next batch. G says this. This is a quotation from Jean-Paul Sartre's Nausea, one of his plays. The cashier was not there, nor the waiter, nor Monsieur Fasquelle. So let me go ahead and say this. Nor, whenever you see nor, when it's by itself, it just means and not. So what that means is you're going to have a dot, and then later you're going to have a squiggle on something, whatever is following. When nor is by itself. There are other instances where we have nor where it's going to mean something different. If we see the word, I'm just going to go ahead and say this here. I'll put a little asterisk here. If you see neither in front of it, nor might mean something different once we get to disjunctions. We're not going to have to worry about that right now. For now, we're just going to say if you see the word nor, it's like not or. But I'm just going to say for now, if you see nor, it means and not. said later, if you see it in another context with disjunctions, it means something different, but just by itself, nor means and not. Just like unless means if not. Nor means and not when by itself. So let's see, with G we've got this. The cashier was not there. So was the cashier there? No. The cashier was not there. Nor the waiter. So that means and not the waiter. Nor Monsieur Fascal, which means and not the Monsieur Fascal. Done. Is this dyadic? No. So we have two options. We can have a heavy left, tiny right. That's perfectly fine. It's dyadic. It's all ands. It doesn't matter where. We could also put it here. Tiny left, heavy right. This is fine too. Just as fine as the previous example I gave. H. Now we shall have duck eggs unless it's a drake. Oh. What do we do with unless? First of all, put an arrow. Whatever follows unless goes on the left side of the arrow with a knot in front of it. So unless it's a drake. So it's a drake, not. So if it's not a drake, then what? We shall have duck eggs. Because what is a drake? A male duck. And if you've got a male duck, you're not getting eggs. I. Hamilton can't preside without moving to city. Now, I said this before. Without is something that means the same thing as unless. So that means we've got an arrow. And whatever falls without goes on the left side of the arrow with a knot in front of it. So Hamilton can't preside without moving to city. So without, like I said, is the same thing as unless, which means whatever follows without goes on the left side of the arrow with a knot in front of it. So without moving to city, left side of the arrow, M with a squiggle in front of it. So if he doesn't move, then he, what? Then he can't preside. If he doesn't move, then he can't preside. Great. J. The May Day program will be this Thursday afternoon, unless it rains, in which case it will be Friday morning. So this one might be a little confusing as to what to do. So basically we have two scenarios. Here's the way I want to put it. We have this. So actually this is going to be a dot. It might not seem clear. It's a dot with two arrows. We've got in terms of what happens if it doesn't rain, and then if it does rain. So that's what's going on here. It might not be obvious, but that is. What happens if it doesn't rain? If it doesn't rain, it will be Thursday afternoon. If it does rain, on the other hand, this means it will be Friday morning. So if it does not rain, it will be Thursday, and if it does rain, it will be Friday. How do I know that? That's what's going on in the lingo here. I'll say it again. The May Day program will be Thursday afternoon, unless it rains. Here, that would mean if it does rain. So this one's a bit confusing as it is. I wouldn't give you one like this, but this is what's going on here. K says this. Unless I see with my own eyes and hear with my own ears, I never will believe it. So we can think of Scrooge here, saying like, if I don't see it and hear it with my own eyes, I'm never going to believe it. Not ever going to believe it, because that's what never means. So what do we got? Unless. That means whatever follows unless goes on the left side of an arrow with a knot in front of it. What follows unless? Two things. I see it with my own eyes and hear it with my own ears. So unless this. That means this is a package deal with a squiggle in front of it. So unless this. So in other words, if I don't see it and hear it, then what? I never, not ever, will believe it. L. Hitler says here, boo-hoo. If I do not get the oil of my cup and Grozny, then I must end this war. Here Hitler's talking about the Eastern theater of World War II, and by Eastern here I mean the Eastern Front, like the front against the Soviet Union, not Eastern Front is in the Pacific Front, and he's saying if I don't get this oil and this oil, then I can't win. Aw, he can't win. So let's see what he's saying here. So in other words, he's saying the same thing as, unless I get my cup and Grozny's oil, then I gotta end this. So, what is that? So we got an arrow. If I do not get what? Two things. The oil of my cup and Grozny. If I don't get it, then what do I gotta do? I gotta end this. Gotta figure out a way to end it. And like I said, boo-hoo, it's not gonna happen. And then finally, M. M says this. If you don't take your money now, so this is the kind of thing you might see in a 401k program or something like that, like what are the details in there? Am I going to be charged for this? This kind of thing. If you don't take your money now and you let it accrue till retirement, then our attorney has not helped you and you will not be asked to pay a legal fee. Great. How do I translate that? It's this. If, so that means there's an arrow. Whatever follows if goes on the left side of the arrow. What's there? You don't take your money now. And, so we haven't seen a then yet or a comma, which means there's two things on the left side of the arrow, at least. If you don't take your money now, and you let it accrue to its retirement, then, so here's what's on the right side of the arrow, our attorney has not helped you, and you will not be asked to pay a legal fee. There you go. That's number 1M.
Okay, so that was doing some stuff with translations, with negations. In the next video, we're going to continue doing some more problems with negations. See you next time.